Welcome to the Speaking with Sherri show. I am your host, Sherri Hicks. Listen, this month is Love Month. It's Power Couple Month. We've just been extending this thing because of the incredible response that we've been getting from people who have said, listen, this has really helped me. So I have an incredible, inspirational couple that I want to bring to you today. And it is Mr. and Mrs. Randolph. Welcome them to the show. Hey guys.
What's up, y'all?
Thanks for having us.
What's going on?
How you guys doing?
We're good. We're glad to be
here. Look, you look good. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate you coming to take the time to let the listeners know what marriage is really all about. Let the listeners know what is entrepreneurship really like as a couple. So we're going to dig into that. And so for all you listeners that are out there, go ahead and tag your friends, tag your loved ones, tag people who you know could really use this inspirational story today. All right. Yeah. All right. We're going to jump right in. Tell the listeners, who is Anthony and Ernisha Randolph?
Wow. This is going to be fun.
Yes.
So, well, I'm Anthony. I hope y'all know that. Yes. And this is Ernisha.
Yes.
People don't know is that Anthony is borderline a comedian, okay? So he's probably going to have you laughing this whole
time. It's going to be good tonight. It's going to be good.
We're going to try, you know. I don't try to be a comedian. They just laugh at me. That's the problem. But anyway, we are a couple, of course, and been married for 16 years.
Okay.
Oh, congratulations.
Okay.
This year in December will be 17 years.
Woo, come on. Yeah.
I got that right.
Yes.
So we 16 years, and we've been together for about 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow, that's incredible.
Very young. And we were just adamant to just be with each other, you know.
Yeah.
Love each other. So that's
what you knew what you wanted.
We knew, definitely I knew what I wanted.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm just waiting, you know, to see what other questions you're gonna ask, but I can get right into it. I knew what I wanted, you know.
Yeah, we were teenagers when we met. Okay. And most definitely. Okay, so yeah, we'll wait and let you ask more questions because, like you said, we talk a lot. Both of us, we talk too much, y'all.
Oh gosh, look, that's what I need. Cause see, you right in the same vein with me. I talk a lot too. So tell me this, and yes, we are gonna get right into it. What attracted you? And this is a question for the both of you. What attracted you to one another?
So first off, we first met, I was in the gospel choir in high school.
Okay.
And we had a performance and he was there with, you know, his group. At that time, he was with one of the hottest singing groups in South Florida. So he was there with his group at the time. I didn't know who he was. I hadn't met him.
Well, I think I was playing the night. I saw her walk by.
Right? Here we go.
Section, right? And I saw her walk by, and she had this smile, right? And now, you know, listen, talking to me, I be trying to get people not to do interviews with me, because
keep it clean.
I'm gonna keep it clean. Then she had the hips, you know, the hips. I don't know.
Listen, I was a skinny teenager. Okay, you know, teenagers they think you know everything look good to them. Okay,
exactly.
She was a friend of my boy was Said Palmer.
Oh, okay.
he knew the family.
We were in the gospel choir together.
Right. It was
Okay.
And I told Sid, I say, man, who is that? I said, I need her.
Uh-oh. This in high school.
Yeah, we was in that. Y'all forgive me. I gotta be big. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so we met there at that event, or it was at church. We were the gospel choir. And we didn't even realize, to relate. He had, there were people that he knew, people that I knew in each other's circles.
Yes.
And from there we just became friends.
Yeah,
we were friends for a very long time.
Friends,
okay, very important to know. Yeah. Friends first.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay.
You mentioned something earlier about knowing what you want. And the funny thing is, even as a teenager, Anthony has always knew just what he wanted. He knew the life that he wanted to have. So he really wasn't into the whole, like, I'm just gonna be like, even at that young age, I'm just gonna be dating around the date. He was like, look, once I find out who you are, I'll just cut it, because I'm looking for someone who's gonna be my potential wife. Even at that young age, my mom was like, who is this? What does he mean? Yeah. He tasted my chicken wings and he told my mom, I'm gonna marry her.
Right.
Yes.
Chicken wings?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was in the house.
My goodness. And, I love it.
I had one taste, and I told her mother, I say, I'm gonna marry your daughter. And she thought I was crazy. She thought I was good.
So that's how we met, and that's how that's where our friendship began.
Yes. So what was your courtship like, though?
The funny thing is, we were saying that we were friends all that time, right? So I'm assuming that was a relationship, because we were exclusive friends.
Right.
But we were just like, listen, we need to be friends, and we need to, kind of get to know each other and everything. So for years we were friends, and we didn't really put a title on it until when was that?
Okay.
He's trying to
trick question.
Listen, there's no wrong answer here, because that's the funny part. Every time I ask this question, this happens.
Right. Trick question.
Okay, so you answer it the way that you remember then.
Yes, from your perspective.
What was the question?
How did we get to courtship? What was that courtship period?
Yeah, what was your date? Basically, on your way to being married, like, what was that like?
Wow.
How long was it? Let me rephrase it. How long?
We were together a very long time before. A very long time. We were teenagers.
Yeah.
But we got married. We got engaged. I was 20 and he was 21. Okay. And we got married. I was 21 and he was 22 when we got married. So if that's what you mean by courtship, that engagement period.
Yes.
It was like that.
It was pretty quick. Definitely.
So there never was a moment where you thought, this isn't going anywhere. No, you knew exactly where this was going, right, Anthony?
Oh no, definitely. I knew from jump, once we started, actually, like you say, the courtship, I knew I wanted to marry her. And at that point, you kind of playing around with, okay, how am I going to do this?
Yeah, especially that young.
That young. What are we going to do? But at the end of the day, I was like, no, she's the one. That's it. And so at this point, it's just how do we plan from there?
Yeah.
Yes. I love that. So you see, guys, you got to know what you want.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's the first thing.
You got to know what you want. So what was the proposal like, though?
I think
I went away.
This happens too.
I went away. I moved to Orlando, and I was up there in school, and he came up there to Orlando. Me and my best friend went up there for school, and he came up there and he proposed to me in Orlando.
Aww.
And the funny thing is, he had just taken a year away from me because he went away to Full Sail for school. And then as soon as he got back, I left and I went away for school. And I've always been a little feisty something. So I'm assuming that, you know, I might have been a little persuasive, like, listen, you know, I'm going to live my life. So, you know, maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
No.
Anthony, how'd that happen? What persuaded you to go ahead and make this thing official?
Wow. You know, I was ready to sign the contract.
Okay, I like where you put that.
And the thing is, I think because we were already talking about some of our ambitions.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
So for me, it was like, okay, you know what? In order for us to do what we're talking about doing, let's be able to live together. Let's be able to move things forward.
Absolutely.
You know? So it made sense. You know, it even financially, it just made sense.
Absolutely.
So like I say, to me, we were already, you know, in that mindset already. We were already planning. So it was like, okay, you know what? Let me just make this happen. Let me do this. No.
Yes. And were both of your families though on board?
Oh, I don't play like that. So I you know, that's just me. Everybody has their own thing. I tell people.
Just want transparency. Yes.
You know, transparency. I don't play like that. You know, if my mother and my father didn't really take to her, I probably wouldn't have. You know.
Keeping it real. Keeping it real.
My mama had to be like, okay, yeah, I like her. You know, and I was dead serious about that. For me, I just grew up like that. Like, families have to be cool. And I'm gonna tell you, for me, her family was my family.
Right.
And
I like that.
You know, before we became, you know, before we got married,
right.
I loved her family. Her family almost, I would say, really took care of me when I was in college. Her mom would drive up to, you know, make sure I ate. You know, and I called her mom. I called her grandmother grandma. And so, you know.
And my aunt lives in Orlando, so she would make sure that he was taken care of as well, because he can't cook at all.
Yeah. They traveled with the group when we would do tours. When we would do tours, her mom actually traveled with the group.
Oh my God.
But she was actually one of our people that took the, you know, when we were selling CDs at the tables and stuff like this, she was taking the money.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
So our families were 100% on board. As a matter of fact, when he proposed, my mom was sick with cancer at that time.
Okay.
And she was like, y'all need to get married, like fast. Y'all need to get married now. And I was like, no, Ma, I want to finish planning the wedding. And we wanted, you know, I wanted everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
And my hard-headedness, she ended up dying in September.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry to hear that. But you know what? I love the fact that you said that your families, even before you got married, had already started operating like they were actually family. To me, that's just God. That's just God. God is all in that. Oh my goodness, I love it. So let me ask you this. What is the most important trait, would you say, in one another? Because apparently your mother had to see that this was going somewhere. She can and she had to see, based on how, Anthony, you treated her and how you treated her daughter, you were the one. So she already knew, let's go ahead and make this thing happen. What is the most important trait, would you say, in Ernisha is the most important trait to you that she possesses?
That she possesses. I would have to say, I'd have to say two things, to be honest with you. Her love, which is her drive.
Yes.
She loves hard, and I knew that.
Yeah.
And drive to make sure it works, to make sure it's going to be something that's going to last. She was the one.
Okay. And I can tell just by her going by her page, girl, you are driven. You're just like him. When you know you want something, you don't talk about it.
That is so true.
I can tell.
That is so true. And it's always been like that. When I started my first business when I was 8 years old, it was a candy house.
What?
And by 10, I wasn't selling just candy. I was selling chicken and fries.
Oh my goodness. So that thing was already in you.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
And then at 19, I started a nonprofit organization for teen girls, mentoring teen girls called Young Ladies of Integrity.
Wow.
So, that's what he meant by like, there was a time when we're like, listen, we know what we want. We know what we're doing. He's always been in music, and he always, has been writing and producing and doing his thing there. But he also had other aspirations to in business to, like do real estate and, just really like diversify his portfolio. I can say that now. Back then we didn't know it. It was just like, we're gonna do all these things. So we definitely have both always been real driven and just really like, just go for it. Whatever it is we want, let's just go get it.
Wow, I love that. And I think that's what makes you such a powerful couple, is because you're feeding off of one another.
Right.
And that's important. It's one thing if one person is driven and they want it, another person is either scared or just does not want to do anything. But I love the fact that you guys seem to be pushing one another.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, I love that. So what is the most important trait, would you say, in Ernisha? I'm sorry, in Anthony.
It's his loyalty. So from one thing I can say is whenever he commits to something, he is, and it's been like that since we were younger. I remember he was working for a church. He was a musician, and he would get so many offers. And it was like, you come over here and you come to my church and you could be the director here, you could be the minister of music there, and they were offering him so much money. And so many times I was like, and he's like, nope, I made a commitment. I'm going to see this through. I said that I would get this ministry to this level. I said that I would do this. I said that. So, I'm going to stick it out and I'm going to do it. And it didn't matter who it was. It didn't matter how famous the leader was, the pastor was. It didn't matter what the situation was. He was so committed. And he does that with every single thing in his life. So that's one of the number one trait that I love about him. And I praise his mom all the time. Like, you did a good job. You praised him.
Yes. Because, I find now that's the very opposite of what you see. You see a lot of people who are jumping for opportunities, and they're not realizing that it's your stability that gets you places in the long run, not hopping here and there. So, oh my goodness, that's incredible. That's incredible. Let me move into another direction, because it sounds like you guys seem like you got everything together, but we know every couple also goes through these storms. What has been the biggest test in your relationship or in your marriage?
Talk about storms. And I mean, from day one, it was storms. When we remember my mom passed, she passed in September, we were to get married in December. And after she passed, my dad started, going through some things. So we had to take in my siblings. So we're scheduled to get married and start our life. And we had to start it with, taking care of some teenagers.
And how many brothers and sisters do you have?
Just one brother, one sister. So it's two of them. And they both were teenagers. My sister, my youngest sister, she was just hitting high school,
Oh, wow.
So they were young. And so we had that on our plate. And then a couple of months after marriage, like 3 months later, I got pregnant. And
so you have 3 children right away.
Well, I got sick, right? So it wasn't even the pregnancy. It was I found out I was pregnant because I was like, it had to be rushed to the hospital, sick. I was bedridden for the whole 9 months. So now 2 incomes in a brand new household with 20-year-olds.
We had just signed. At that point, we had just signed the lease and was getting into this payment. Of course, at that point, we thought we was doing it big,
Right?
Now you're talking about a scary moment where life now has to change, and now I'm actually being a nurse to her and having to give her shots, like blood thinner shots every day. I mean, the hospital knew my name. It was, oh, Mr. Randolph here again.
I couldn't even eat or drink. I was on an IV 24/7 under care with the nurse at the house and everything. So
the first year of our marriage was like, it wasn't
really a marriage.
The honeymoon was, you know.
Wow.
It was crazy.
And this is shortly after.
Yeah.
3 months later.
3 months.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That absolutely is a storm, and that's absolutely a test. So how important is it that God, how important is your relationship to God in helping you to get through that period?
Whew. I would say not only that period, every day, you know, God has to be the center of our lives and of our relationship. And I think, you know, even when you're talking about, you know, the rate of failed marriages and everything, and it's not to say that everyone doesn't have God, but you know, or that anyone who, you know, doesn't last doesn't have God. But I know one thing: without God, I don't know if we would have lasted. You know, you have to have. It's so important to me to have that third party involved. You know, when you have your thoughts and he has his thoughts, and this is the way I feel like it should be, and you just can't get along. What does God say? You know, now let's go to what does the founder say about all of this? And that sometimes that's literally all you have to stand on.
I think that's one of the issues. People make other people in a lot of relationships their heroes. And we couldn't, you know, we stopped doing that a long time ago. Because the thing is, I mean, at any day, a man can let you down. You know what I mean?
That's
it.
it.
Man is man, he's flesh. So he will let you down. But God, you know, if we go to the perfect individual, at the end of the day, you know, we can definitely depend on that and say, okay, he loved like this, so I got to get through this.
That's it. And in other words, don't try to do this thing without God. I hope you listeners are getting that. Do not try to do this thing without God. Don't. I like what you said. It's that third party. Come on. This is a perfect place where the third party is the perfect person to call upon.
Right.
The perfect person to call upon. So give the listeners who are watching 3 key points to a successful marriage. What would you say are the 3 main things?
I say the first one will probably be
I would say friendship.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Friends first.
When you found it on friendship, listen, you know, a million things can happen. You friends forever, and you got your ways, and your friend got their ways. But you know, the reality is that friendship, that love that you have, and that understanding that you have as a friend will get you through, you know, a lot more times and more periods than, you know, if it's just someone who can easily be replaced. You know, I'm not replacing no friend. A friend is here forever.
Correct.
That's it.
And she said
the
3.
The second one will probably be what? What would you say?
Well, I don't know if this is the point, but decision making. Can we say that?
What,
decision?
like?
So I think that.
So that's more like communication.
Yeah, I would say, well, communication, but I would say that a decision has to be made every day.
Okay.
So when you're talking about love, you know, you got to take the emotion out of that thing, you know, and there's a decision to say, you know what, I'm going to make the decision to love. I'm going to do this.
Yes, that's good.
I'm making the decision to be happy.
Absolutely.
You know, but when you attach that emotion to it, boy, you talking about some trouble.
Come on, preach now.
You talking about
right.
You talking about some trouble. But yeah, that's the thing. You know, the decision I think has to be made.
And I would probably say your understanding and willingness to change. So you know, you got to imagine if you've grown up with your siblings forever, right? And they have their personality and you have yours, you know, and you still button heads. Years later, we grown and I notice how you are, but you know, I'm still pissed at you. And we expect to get in marriages and for everything to be perfect, for everything to be all good, for us to always agree, for us to always like what the other person would do or how they would do it. And that's just not the way that life works, not in a marriage, not in any relationship. So, you definitely have to have an understanding and a willingness to change, even if you won't admit, because some people just won't admit they're wrong no matter what. Even if you won't admit you're wrong, did you go back and work on that? Did you go back and try to clean that up and come back a little better the next time? So definitely that willingness to change.
Yes, I love it. So I'm gonna piggyback for the listeners who might have just popped on. So the 3 main keys is going to be friendship. Okay, got to be friends first. Got to be friends first. And then the second one would be decision. You got to make a decision, because what I hear is decision means you're being deliberate.
Right.
Yes.
You're being deliberate about what you're doing. And then the willingness to change. You can't just say, well, this is just who I am. No, that's
it.
It's just me.
Yeah,
you by yourself. You got to be willing to change. Got to be willing to adjust, because you're not 2 people walking. The scriptures say you walking as one.
That's right.
So you got to be pliable. You got to be pliable. Excellent. Oh my goodness.
And let me add to that. I think that you also in that thing when you're talking about I'm okay with them changing or changing for me. I think you also have to allow a person to be who they are.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I hear a lot of guys, when they talk about their wives, and I'm just talking about from the male perspective. The thing is, that woman, if she wants to go out and join the choir now, she wants to go out and start the business, she wants to, you better let her do what she needs to do, brother.
Come on, talk. Okay, this is to the brothers.
I'm sorry, and sisters too,
Yes.
Of course. You definitely want to, don't be so dogmatic about what you want.
Right.
You got to be willing to change.
Yes. Be willing to allow the person, if I'm saying this right, to blossom into who they are.
Exactly.
Yes.
Give them the room. Give them the environment to be who they know that they are called to be. Yes. This is good. Listen, I hope you guys are getting all these nuggets. I know these seem like some pretty young people, but they've got some wisdom here. They got some wisdom. They got
hope we're not going too far.
Listen, they got 16 years worth of wisdom. So, those of you that are married and you might be struggling some of you say, I have some friends who I know who could use this. Tag those friends in the comments so that they can get on here and hear from this wonderful couple. Listen, I know we've got some people on that are dating. Some people who are interested in becoming married. What advice would you give to those people that are watching right now? What tips would you give young couples who are dating and they're just pondering getting married? Because you guys got married pretty young. And I do see some people still that at a very young age are not putting it off. They're just like you, Anthony. They're like, this is what I want. What advice would you give to those that are watching right now?
I would say that, and every story is different, right? Everyone's journey is different in life. So if it applies to you, then take it. If not, but one thing that I will say is that people would discourage us back then, like, you're young, do you really want to do this? You need more time to play the field. And if you're someone, especially if you're someone who knows that you want to be great, or everybody has goals, you have goals. Even though there are people who may say that, you're gonna have goals and, or at least back then when we were younger, they would say that you needed to be single and reach your goals and then get married. Listen, I don't agree with that. I think that you're stronger together. I believe in building empires. I believe that families build empires. And even if it may be, not as common to our culture anymore, when you look at the great companies of the world, most of them are family businesses.
Yes.
Everyone from Walmart to, we can name them. We can go through and name them, but those are family empires.
Yes, they are.
And the sooner you can get with that person, the sooner when you can get with that person who God has for you to connect with and to build with,
yes,
the better, the faster you will be able to get there. Imagine if your empire is dependent on that person and you're waiting until you're 40 years old. You're just starting your empire at 40. You wasted years. Right. You wasted years partying and clubbing and doing all these things that mean nothing.
Talk, girl. We need to pass the collection plate. You preaching.
So that's my advice to hurry up and get started. If or at least I hear men say they know when a woman is for them. Just get out of that indecisive stage where it's like, well, should I not? And thinking that there's more out there. There is more. There's a whole empire that's waiting on you to build it. Your future, your goals, your dreams. That's what's out there waiting while you're playing the field.
Girl, you need your own podcast. Anthony, what would you like to say to the couples out there that are?
I think she said it all. So I think that that is my sentiment.
So let's switch gears. What advice would you give to the single ladies out there that said, I want to be married?
That's a good one for you.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yes. So you like the single women who are like, listen, I want to be married, or even if they're like, I really can't find love, or whatever that is. So he probably doesn't want. I was gonna say he usually is on this.
I think you definitely have to know what you want.
That's it. Okay.
I think you definitely have to know what you want and be truthful about that.
That's the key.
I think that's most of our problem. It's like, and that goes deep,
Yes, it does.
I don't have time to talk about that, but if you don't know what you want as a woman, then that's going to be the biggest problem.
Well, what about the women that say that they do know what they want, and they just not finding it, and all of those situations? The woman, she wants to be married, she wants to be settled down, she wants to
Okay, y'all done tried to corner me into this.
I know he don't want to go there. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
But no, Ernisha, you're doing your good work. I need you to go there. Come on, go there. Help the ladies out.
Help the ladies out.
I have heard that.
Say it again.
I've heard that. They say guys don't know what they want. I've heard guys know exactly what they want.
Guys know exactly what they want. Don't wait around on a brother. Okay. Mm-hmm. That is telling you, I'm waiting to see if you're gonna change, or if this is what I really, really want. You just gotta keep it moving. I'm just being honest with you, and I think that problem is that may be a problem in the generation that we're in now, but and because I think people just kind of, I hear the complaints about they just can't find a man or whatnot, but I do know that there are good men out there. There are people out there that want you, but you definitely don't want to play around with somebody that wants to just kind of take you for the long walk. So I think I'll keep it there for now.
Yeah.
I was just saying he's not gonna do it.
We had to
be political today.
We had to
be political.
Okay, so we might have to do a part 2. Let's go to the single guys. So the single guys that are on the fence, what advice would you give to them? Because remember now, that's what this thing is all about. I have heard millennials say, I don't know, this thing doesn't work. The girls don't know what they want. The women say guys don't know what they want. Talk to the single guys out there.
Wow. Okay. Well, see, y'all pulling on me now.
Come on, because it's in there.
Listen, we try our best to avoid certain conversations, because we know that our beliefs are different. We know in a lot of situations, to be honest, sometimes you realize when you're an exception to a rule, and you don't want people looking at you like, they, they're goody goodies, or they, and so we try our best to be neutral, in certain situations. So I understand where he's coming from. But also understand that, the reality is, some people need certain conversations.
Yes,
they
do.
They do.
Yes, they do. And that's what we're doing. We're pushing people to have the hard conversation. That's what it is.
I think that guys, when they're looking for a mate, you know, it's that decision or that timing to know that I want that. And so a lot of times you're dealing with a guy that really he's not ready for that. You know what I mean? And so, okay, when we're talking to your question for the guy that is ready for the girl, I think that there are plenty of people out there that you can choose from that have what you want, you know, and you have to make a decision at that particular point. And like I said, I have a lot of different beliefs on that that I definitely have to keep it.
Listen, he is way off from what his beliefs are, what he really would say. So he's not gonna give it to us. He's not gonna do it.
You're holding back. And you got people on who need to hear.
That's gonna
He just rambling. I'm like, what are you saying? He rambling.
Listen, we're gonna do a part 2 on that. Definitely.
It's needed.
That's a deep, yeah.
And I love what you say is deeper. And I love the fact that you're doing what you're doing because you're making it known. This is not something that you want to gloss over.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling from you.
Because that's self-evaluation. I have to deal with self at that point, you know? And so that's a decision, you know, yes. Into what you really want out of life, you know? So that's why I say it's a deeper conversation.
Yes, yes. But what I do get for those that are listening is that you got to know what you want and you have to go after what you want. Because if you waste too much time, you're going to end up losing out because you keep weighing options and you're doing the pros and the cons. And meanwhile, somebody else is going to put a ring on that finger.
That's right. That's right.
So you got to make a decision. Yes, yes. I hope you listeners are enjoying this. I know they're kind of holding back a little bit, but hopefully we can get them for a part 2 so that we can really dig deep because this is needed. Yeah. Come on, this is needed for our community, and this is needed for our young people who need to hear. This is what's real. Right. BET is not showing this. Love and Hip Hop is not showing this. So I want to show them what is real. So I want to thank you. I thank you for how transparent you are being right now. I know you're holding back, but thank you for being as transparent as you are. I love it. I love it. So now we know who this couple, this power couple is. Let's talk about your businesses. Yes, yes. Let's switch it up. You guys are entrepreneurs, and tell the viewers what in the world is Sweet Butter.
So Sweet Butter is actually the child of Anthony and I merging our talents. So for so long, he was, focusing on music. We had projects that we were, working on together, like real estate investment and things like that. Okay. But his love and passion was music, and my love and passion was cooking, like with my grandmother. Okay. And we had business going on in food and then also in music. And once we decided to with our catering company, people were pressuring us like, listen, we need a restaurant. We need something that would be, we can have access to other than just going to an event or something. Okay. And so I'm like, listen, we're going to do it. We're going to do it right. We got to test the market. We have to make sure that, we are promoting before this restaurant comes, and we got to make sure that this is what we want, So we got together and decided to merge our talent and not just do a pop-up restaurant, but do a pop-up dinner show where we will be able to bring together the music, the entertainment, the food, the culture, because culture is something else that's another passion of ours. Right. We are both, we're Black Americans, and in Miami, Broward is a little different, but in Miami, we had a severe lack of real soul food, Yeah. So,
which we took a trip.
We did a tour.
We did a tour of the United States.
We went to all of those Black regions.
All of the different Black regions, and tasted all of the different foods to find out, of course, that soul food is different, which we knew before we went, but we wanted to make sure we was on point. We knew that soul food
market research
in every side of the country.
Yeah, if you go to Carolina with those Gullah Geechee people, they're number one. Let's talk about the language and the culture. and their culture being closest to our African culture, right?
Yeah.
So, but also the food there, the gumbo there tastes totally different than the gumbo in Louisiana.
Yes.
And Louisiana's style of soul food tastes different than all of ours, right?
Yeah.
If you've never experienced it, once you finally taste it, you like, these people can cook, and it's just different. And the barbecue in Texas and Tennessee and Carolina, they're all different, and they all try to take on that crown, but everything is just different. Even that low country style food in Mississippi and Georgia, everything is just so different, and we wanted to make sure that we were able to bring that out, but also taking the styles of music from those areas as well. So the jazz that was created in Louisiana versus in New York, and you know that
sounds are totally different.
the sounds are different.
Louisiana has this culture of music that is unbeatable.
Oh yeah.
You go to DC, you know, so when we, you know, do our show, you know, we've implemented like a lot of the go-go music.
Go-go music from DC, and then the second line band in Louisiana.
And so we wanted to take people on this cultural experience with the fusion of music and food.
Oh my gosh.
That's the whole idea.
So that's where Sweet Butter came from.
That long explanation, sorry.
And for those of you like me who've never had an opportunity, when can we expect another Sweet Butter?
Wow. You know, due to
COVID shut us down. We were bringing it back last year.
We had a tour planned for last year, right at the beginning of COVID, and then we got like all of the vendors. We were hitting Dallas. We were hitting like
we just secured Dallas with their Convention and Visitors Bureau and their leaders there.
Yeah.
And COVID happened, so that shut that down. But we are making plans for next year.
Yes, we just had a great meeting yesterday.
I would just like my ticket put aside.
It does sell out fast.
It does.
Yes, every time I've ever tried to go on, it's like within a day. That's for those of you all that don't know. These tickets sell out within one day. They're gone. So how did you come up with the name though, Sweet Butter? Because that's it's so catchy. How'd you come up with the name?
I know. We actually were thinking of Sweet Butter for he started calling me Sweet Butter.
That's why I looked at her like that.
I'm like, hold on. He started calling me.
In my mind, I said, did we ever tell this story?
You're giving this away.
Yeah. But you know what? No, so we had an original restaurant concept, and she would use the sweet butter on these biscuits.
Okay.
Cornbread at the time.
Wow.
And see, a lot of people don't know how crazy when it comes down to her taste and what she does with food, it's on another level. I would see her, we would go to a restaurant and she can just recreate something that she tasted. She can come right home and recreate it. And we had tasted something, I think it was some type of butter. And she was like, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna make this. And it was the best thing I had ever tasted in my life. I was like, oh man, you sweet butter, baby. You know, Jesus, you know. And see, I'm a food guy. Food is my business. Yeah.
He a food guy in eating because he can't cook a lick.
Thanksgiving became my favorite holiday. So I am definitely all about food. So
yeah, we can't go. We went up, messed around and went out of town one time for Thanksgiving, and he had one more thing. This will never happen again. You hear me? You would have thought I did something horribly, but this will never happen again. So,
oh my gosh.
Yes, Thanksgiving is his favorite holiday, and he eats. When we first got married, and the first few years of our marriage, when I had to be a housewife, oh, he was in heaven. I had to cook 10 pies every Sunday, and he would take half of them just for himself.
Definitely.
So, that's what we're dealing with when it comes down to this food.
You got to ask me why I'm with her, you know.
Well, when you explain that one chicken wing, I think I know.
What you want me to do, you know?
You were sold.
Yeah, that's it.
So in other words, you're not letting Ernisha go.
Oh no. She can try, but she ain't going nowhere.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all hear about it on the news. This man was crazy. He was following me everywhere. Nah, she ain't going nowhere.
Oh my God. You guys are just too cute. My heart is so warm. My heart is so warm. And listen, I know about the cooking. Okay. Because I had an opportunity to go to the restaurant. And that's the one I want you guys to talk about now. Tell us about WeShuckin.
So when we were doing sweet butter, the first concept that was supposed to roll out of sweet butter was a sweet butter style restaurant, where we can do, like, it was more formal sit down dinner, formal dinner type restaurant. And we searched for some time. We went around, and I didn't even realize, I think until last week, when we it was an article that someone wrote during our sweet butter days, and I read how I said, I'm gonna do this, and then we're gonna open up a restaurant this year. And I mean, I said all of these things in the article, and I don't know, but they weren't moving fast enough for me when it came down to the sweet butter concept. We were working with the local government and some other people, and it just wasn't moving fast enough. And I was like, you know what? Forget this. We opening this restaurant, and we're gonna do it right here in this hole in the wall where we got access to it. So it can't be sweet butter, because I'm not doing the sweet butter in the hole in the wall. So we need to come up with a whole nother concept. Right. And that's where Shuckin was birthed. We sat down with, we decided to do this as a family project. And we wanted to involve Shawnee. We wanted to involve my brother, Tayon. And Tayon had just, graduated college for construction and architecture. And he just wasn't satisfied with none of the jobs, the internships or anything. So we're like, well, just come up here with a family business. Let's figure out what you're gonna do over here. Right. And we were just playing around with names and and everything. And we were like, listen, these people still expecting culture from us. They're still expecting history and culture. So we need to stay true at least to that. And someone said, we were like, so what are we serving? We're serving this, and we can go with the New Orleans theme, because that's one of our favorite for music and for food. And we're doing oysters, we're doing corn, we're doing all this stuff. What's the common ground with all of this? Shucking, because you shuck oysters, you shuck corn, you shuck all this stuff. And I think Grandma said shucking and jiving, and we were like, okay. And the funny thing is, immediately I was like, these modern day folks, they kind of took shucking and jiving and they turned it into something else now. Right. So we got to be careful with this, because shucking and jiving in its origin was, when the slaves were out there talking kind of like comedy, what comedy is today, and doing their thing. And then in the 40s, it took on a whole nother meaning. And Cap Calloway, the jazz genius, the jazz musician, he even created a dictionary, the Book of Jive, and with a whole nother language. It's like, this is the way we talk. This is our people. This is how we, what we do. This is something of our own. And then when you rolled around to the 50s and the 60s, it just was common day slang. But somewhere when Sarah Palin accused Obama of shucking and jiving, Black people was like, oh, nah, no, she didn't. That's racist. So I was like, a
whole different turn.
So we sat down and we thought about it from a marketing perspective. And we're like, number one, we can't allow someone to take something that was created by us, unlike the N-word. Exactly. This was actually created by us. Right. And it was for us, and it was for our own purposes, and it meant something that was good. It meant joking, having fun, having a good time. We can't allow that to happen. So I told them, if we're gonna pioneer this thing, we got to be ready to fight, and we got to be ready to pioneer, because it will come up. And we just sat down with some marketing geniuses, and they also were like, listen, it's gonna come up, but as long as we have this, and as long as we have this part of history, you'll always be able to fight. And then it might not be a bad thing, because it may help you go viral a couple of times. And boy,
and it did.
It did.
And you know what? The thing is, a lot of people don't know that we knew the history. So we knew the history that we knew. And then what we did was we went and got a lot of people, which we talked to
the whole university,
the entire university, And then we
they're working on this project as well to bring in the real true meaning and definition of shucking and jiving.
It's so powerful. And when we found out it's powerful, we knew that it was the foundation of a lot of the different entertainment functions that we have now. So those things are coming out. We don't want to just
because even the directors from that African American museum in DC. They came to Shuckin and Jiving and they ate and we chatted with them. So there's a lot of things that's coming out.
And it's crazy that there's especially an older generation that has took us by, the hands and said, okay, you know what? This is ours.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're so appreciative that you're doing this, and we're not gonna let the younger generation, which we're young, but they're saying we have to teach them. We have to let them know what this really is. So they're like, if you guys gonna take it on, we're gonna take it on with you. So we have a lot of people that are behind us right now and saying, we're gonna make sure the world knows what Shuckin and Jiving is.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Shuckin, I have to say, WeShuckin kind of came from a different place.
It was the same time we were planning for Shuckin and Jiving to be the name. We decided we wanted WeShuckin to be in the forefront, the website, all of our social media handles and everything. And it was because another part, as you know, we're super Black and super proud. So another thing we're proud of are the colloquialisms that we use as a people, and and how we speak, and the unofficial languages. It's been tried. The Dictionary of Ebonics has been tried to be made, and Cap Calloway tried when he did the Book of Jive and all of these things. And we feel like we're so unique as a people that we came here, learned a language that didn't belong to us, while still remaining true to a language of our own. We came here with the culture and the religion that they tried to teach us, and we still were able to find God in the midst of everything that we went through. We just think that we're such a unique people, and everything that we had, that we created, and that we did, it needs to be celebrated. So that's where our use of our colloquial terms, we celebrate Ebonics, we celebrate slang talk and everything. So that's where it was like a bold statement. And the mayor came to our restaurant and he went live and he said, can y'all believe these people got WeShuckin on the wall? This is so bold. I feel so proud.
And we know
that's what it was for.
We know that a lot of people, especially in our culture, when you've been taught by a system that was definitely you're taught that the way that you're speaking or certain things that you're saying is totally wrong, and they made you feel bad. And then the thing is, now you have to take on this English standard, and we say, okay, this is the standard. And the thing is, we know that in this professional world, we know, okay, we do have to know how to talk.
Yeah, you got to code.
You got to know how to talk that. But do not think that what you have in your culture is wrong.
That's right.
Come on.
So that's one of the things that we're pushing to people. Appreciate what you have. Take that and run with it. They're taking everything that you have, and they will take it into the boardrooms now. Think about it. All of your major boardrooms now are saying, hey, what's up, yo? Hey, what's going on?
Exactly.
So everything that,
now.
So, everything that you have is so appreciated by a lot of other cultures and a lot of other people.
Right.
Take your culture and run with it. Your hair, everything that you have. That's a whole, I'm sorry. Now you get me to talk.
but that's where it came from.
I knew once the faucet got turned.
Yeah. We can go on that all day.
That's to answer your question, that's where WeShuckin came from. It's a love for our culture, and just kind of taking the wheel and deciding that we're not gonna wait on pop culture to take something that belongs to us in order for it to be cool or acceptable. We're gonna make it acceptable right now.
Ooh, girl, I can run around. I'm loving it. So for you listeners, I hope you understand where they're coming from. Appreciate the culture. And that's what you guys are doing. You're highlighting the culture, and you're letting the younger generation know, appreciate. And I love what you said. Stop waiting on some other culture to appreciate it.
There you go. Right.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. And I got a chance to go to that restaurant, and it's everything. So if you guys get an opportunity, go over to WeShuckin. I went there for lunch one time and couldn't finish my work for the rest of the day. So listen, you're a boss, you're entrepreneurs together, boss lady, boss man. What is it like working together?
Working together. Woo. So my sister-in-law says it best when she's like, y'all always together, y'all work together, you work out together, we together all day, every day. So we don't just work together. Our everyday life is together. And how would you say that is? I'm gonna let you go first. What is it like working with me?
I think, let's see, there's a trick question again, right? Okay. But no, I think it goes back to that relationship part first. And before we go to the business, I think, for me, she's always been my best friend. So I don't necessarily want to go hang out with my homeboys more than I want to go hang out with her.
You should have brought tissue.
Yeah. And I'm just being truthful. When I want to go on vacation, when I want to go do something, I would miss her if she's not there. I want her to be there. So when it comes down to working together,
exception to the rule. I'm telling you, that's why we try our best to stay out of these conversations, because we know we the exception. People probably looking like he lying.
No.
Sorry, y'all.
I didn't say that everything was perfect now.
Come on now.
I said that now. But I enjoy my happy is definitely with her.
And we don't mind fussing.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing. People all this arguing, we need to break up. Child, you've been arguing with your sister since y'all came out the womb, and you can't break up with her. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Yeah. We don't mind hashing it out until, we work it out. Hash it out until you work it out. And then you move on.
Exactly. Yeah. So in business, what we do is I have a role, she has a role, and then sometimes we even switch roles. And the thing is, it's just knowing, hey, did you get, we don't mix, at that point, we don't mix the personal with business.
Okay.
Did you get your job done?
Period.
And so I have to take my ego out the way and say, no, baby, I didn't get that job done. So I'm gonna make sure we get that done tomorrow. That's how you work together. It's just,
and sometimes it ain't that smooth. Sometimes it ain't, I ain't get it done. Sometimes, and that's the thing. I think people need to learn to give yourself grace, give other people grace. Everything is not always going to line up because, what you mentioned earlier about the Claire Huxtable and that whole relationship. And we didn't always see everything perfect with them. We saw the end result is what we saw. The end result is we're still gonna love each other. We're still gonna fight for each other. We're still gonna make this work no matter what. Yes, those kids cut up sometimes. Yes, they tried to sneak out sometimes. They tried to do it. It wasn't perfect.
I don't know how she puts up with me. Okay. But I told her I ain't letting her go. So this knucklehead is there, man. She got to put up with me. But that's it. She made a decision to keep putting up with me every day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow she'll do it again.
and let me ask you, what is the most rewarding thing, would you say, for being your own boss?
Oh man, freedom.
Freedom, for sure. Freedom.
Freedom is everything. Yeah. I think you're reaching for freedom. It's not necessarily the money. The money allows some freedom. The billionaire has a lot more freedom than most of us. So when you want to go somewhere, when you're talking about living the life that you want to live, he has the freedom to just pick it up and just go get it, and not have to worry. So the other thing is when we talk about health, you're talking about stress. So when you are financially in a good situation, you take away, at least I take away that stress. Right. Especially marriages fail most of the time off of finance.
Come on.
And those issues become an argument. If I can take that away, then we can start talking about, okay, how healthy I need to be, the relationship, we got to work on all of that stuff, but we need to take away this layer right now.
Yes.
Right. And I want to be clear that even for those who decide that they don't want to be full-time entrepreneurs, some people have really great corporate jobs. You can find freedom even in that situation. That's by investing in the right things, or you can start a business and still keep your job. but freedom is definitely the goal. You know, like he said, eliminating some of the stresses. Money is one of the biggest stresses. And with us, we're givers. We love to give. We love to, you know, be a solution. We love to be an extension of God's hands. And we can't do that if we don't have. We can't do that if we don't, you know, if we don't go out and create. So, you know, one of my biggest things is to make sure that, you know, we are able to get these businesses to $1 billion status so that we can be able to give more and do more and reach more.
Right. Especially in our communities. And that's, I think, where it's really, really needed. And that's why I love that you went back to your community. You're putting back in your community. You're pouring back in your community. And so that is the key right there. And that's how you know you're going to always be doing more than just surviving, because you're looking out for more than just yourself. Absolutely. Yes. Tell those that are entrepreneurs right now, what are the things you wish you knew before you started entrepreneurship?
A lot. Oh, there's so much I wish we knew.
I would say you definitely want to join the empire, because
now that'll help you right there. That'll help you to eliminate like 10, 12 years of lessons, right? You know, so, but
I think one of the biggest things is understanding how to structure the business in the foundation process first. So, you know, you can go out and you can start making money. You know,
anybody can hustle and make money.
And that's the thing. Everybody. I mean,
guy on the corner.
Exactly, guy on the corner. But
you're hustling backwards if the foundation isn't right. So then there's sometimes, and I know all the entrepreneurs out there can relate. It's like you're making money, you're running this business, you're doing well, and then now it's time to purchase a home. Right. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I can't purchase a home because I'm an entrepreneur. But if there's certain foundational things that we needed to have done in order to be able to do that. And then it's the same thing, like I can repeat, you know, copy and paste that to so many different situations. And it's like once you start on a firm foundation, you won't ever have to worry about being denied for a business loan, or, you know, not having the finances to move your business to the next level. That's all with the foundational work when it comes down to businesses. So
business is it's a game that you got to understand how to play this particular game on a certain level, and we're still reaching for that, you know, situation, but understanding how to protect your assets. And
we had to learn
you know, how to, you know, deal with the bank, how to deal with getting, you know, the dollars that you do need. So these are things that you definitely want to learn. And that's, you know, why we created, you know, she definitely created the empire and made that happen.
It doesn't matter if it's my business or his business. We do everything together. So even if it's somewhere I'm like, I created, I did, he's right there. And that's just how it's just always been like that. It's always been like that.
And it sounds like to me, that's the key. There's no struggle, no power struggle. It's us. It's ours. It's we. And that's the key. So for those of you all that are thinking about being entrepreneurs, listen, this is some good stuff. It's all about us at the end of the day, because when we're doing it together, we can't lose. We're winning because we're working together.
That's why I love this conversation that you're having with us, because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't realize that it has to be a joint effort when it comes down to building these family empires. And allowing ego to get in the way, or your own personal whatever to get in the way. You need to know that there are other people out there who are working together. We oftentimes only hear about the couples that don't work or the family businesses that don't work, but there are people out here who are working together. And if that foundational thing we were talking about again, right? So, you know, if you need to get contracts drawn so that you have an understanding, get the contracts drawn so that you have an understanding and so that you're secure and you're not afraid that somebody gonna run off and do whatever. But whatever it is, you do whatever it takes for you to get to that place that, you know, we're doing this together, and then you'll go faster.
Right.
Yes. And you're in a community, because I believe you guys are right now in is it Miami Gardens?
We're not yet. We're not in Miami Gardens yet. We are in unincorporated Dade. So we don't have a city.
I would say which company? I think that you're talking about.
Shuckin?
Shuckin, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Shuckin is unincorporated.
Okay. And how do you feel about the support that you've gotten from your community in Sweet Butter and WeShuckin?
Oh, that's been everything for
Oh
us.
yes, yes, from day one. I would say with all the way back to Juanita's Kitchen with the catering company. You know, we got tremendous support when we moved on with Sweet Butter. We expected 75 people to show up to that first show. This was a community. This was in Overtown, a community that had been run down and drug infested for years. You would not drive through Overtown, let alone walk. You know, you just wouldn't do it.
Right.
And the government there was very clear that they wanted us. They supported us with Sweet Butter because they wanted us to bring people back to that community. So we expected few people to show up, and it ended up being a line down the street and over 1,000 people who showed up to our show. So that's not something we take.
One guy couldn't get in.
Yeah, when people are like, oh, the people were there trying to get in and couldn't get in.
They was at the door.
So, you know, when people are like, oh, Black people don't support each other, Black people most definitely do.
Talk about that.
That's a
Talk
lot.
about that.
I think it's somewhere when, you know, while we can be disappointed in certain things without bashing us, you know, in others. The reality is we can be disappointed that Black people go out and purchase so many unnecessary goods or luxury goods, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's not discount the fact that when you walk into a Black-owned business, you see majority Black people.
That's right.
That means Black people support their own. So from day one, you know, it's been Black people who have came to our businesses. And I think that even just, and this is just me speaking to the fellow entrepreneurs out there.
Yes.
One thing that we have to understand also is that we as entrepreneurs have a responsibility to be able to keep our customers. Don't ask for support. I really hate the term, utilizing the term support, right? When it comes down to Black people. Because yes, while I may come to you because I heard of your spot and you're Black, so that's a bonus.
Right.
What's going to keep them coming to us is quality service and good products, right? So we can't complain and get upset when people stop coming to us and supporting and blaming on the fact that Black people don't support. We have to make sure that when whatever it is that we do, we keep them coming back. And I know more than anybody that it is a task. It's a task working with staff and people who don't have your same mission and your same vision. And then people are blaming you for something that, you know, the person you hired has done. I understand that. I understand all of the troubles and the trials and things that we go through as entrepreneurs, but we got to keep going and we got to keep striving and we got to keep working to make sure that we can keep our customers, be it Black, white, whoever it is, coming into our doors.
That's it. That's the key. And I can tell everybody who has not gone to WeShuckin, I did go and I went for shrimp and grits, but by the time I got shrimp and grits, I got flop, I got a cake, I got a peach cobbler because the lady kept saying, we got this, we got that. I tell you, she upselled me on so much stuff, but I can tell you, I was not disappointed.
That's good.
And it is for somebody who loves New Orleans style food, it is a party in your mouth. So you definitely,
you know it.
Party in your mouth. You definitely want to make sure you go by and check them out.
I think that if you do have a bad experience, you know, so I believe it's my responsibility to go to, especially because we're talking about the culture.
Yeah,
I need to go talk to somebody that's close to the owner or go to the owner. And I don't have to go to Facebook. I don't have to go to Google. I don't have to do all of that to try to embarrass or, you know, hey, I mean,
you just keep it real.
I keep it real.
I came and it wasn't right. Y'all need to fix it.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back if you can take care of these particular things. You know, because the thing is, nobody that I know, and we know a lot of Black business owners, none of them want their front of house or anything to look bad or something to go wrong in the business. Nobody does. But at the end of the day, you're hiring staff. You're hiring staff that have their own mindset.
Come on.
They will do whatever they want to do sometimes. If they're having a bad day.
You got to be honest. Yeah.
It looks bad on you. That's why I say, always let us know. Just somehow get to us. We always have comments on our receipts where you can just, and all of our people, our staff will go back and read those comments. So they can always,
improve.
Yeah.
But back to what you were saying, we can't complain because our people, they support, they come, they support, we're in, and you've been to Shuckin. We are in a really tough spot where you're not going to get just walk up traffic or drive by traffic.
No.
All the people that come to Shuckin are intentional about coming to Shuckin. And Shuckin is doing amazing. So when it comes down to, to Black people supporting Shuckin, we ain't have nothing but support.
Yes. And that brings me to my next question, because I know during COVID, a lot of businesses ended up closing, unfortunately. A lot of people just were not able to hang on. How are you guys faring during this pandemic?
We did good. In the beginning, it was very frightening. They were talking about shutting down businesses, and it was like, are we next? What's going on? Yeah. So as entrepreneurs, of course, what we had to do was put on our thinking caps and figure out how would we pivot? How are we going to make this work? Mm-hmm. Right now, people are afraid to leave. So we immediately went out and we did a little commercial letting everybody know you're safe here. You're safe here at Shuckin. We had masks when they weren't mandatory. Right. We went and bought a bunch of, disinfectant and things like that when no one else was thinking about it. Wow. This was like a month before it became a real thing. Anthony is really good at that. He keeps in the news and, find out, and he was telling me months ahead. And I was like, what are you talking about? I did not believe we would be affected by whatever this craziness he was talking about is going on over there in China. And we got to be careful. And let's,
we were prepared.
Yeah. So we got a chance to prepare.
You watch the economy, kind of what's happening.
Yeah.
What's coming ahead of time.
So we prepared and we got ahead of the game when it came down to that. And thankfully we did, because our customers kept coming. Yeah. But then once they started shutting down businesses, essential, non-essential, we didn't know if we were going to be next. So we went out and we called into some of the contracts. So that's another thing when it comes down to business. We don't rely solely on one stream. Okay. We knew that if we were going to open a restaurant, if there's a hurricane, if there's any disaster, that can put you out. So we made sure that we secured our foundation. Okay. And got access to some contracts and some government work ahead of time in that case. So we were able to, thankfully, to connect with a contract really early on, and we were doing amazing. But then soon after, we pivoted and made some changes in the restaurant as well, and we've been doing great.
Right, and then we invested into other companies as well. So those are the things that we don't talk about. But we became silent partners in some different things. We knew from the last, I think it was the last recession, when we were younger then, but we knew that, following some of our mentors, that's the time to invest. That's the time to say, this is the time to take your money and do some different things. So that's what we did, and thank God we were blessed to make it.
Yes.
That's where the empire was birthed, so we can help other people to make it through the pandemic also.
Yes. I'm getting to the empire because I know that's why I want people to get right to that empire. But before we get to that, how do the people who are like, where's this WeShuckin place? How do they find WeShuckin?
So you can go to WeShuckin.com.
Okay.
And the address is there. It'll lead you straight to us. But we're in Miami. We are off of the Palmetto, 826 and 47th Avenue for now. We are in the process of working on another location. Because remember, I told y'all, we rushed and we were just like, we're just going to do it. Yeah. And everybody that hears me talk to business owners or people who want to do it, I'm like, done is better than perfect. Sometimes you just got to get stuff done and then you work out the details later. So now we're working out the details and moving to a better location.
Please come to Broward. How do you spell?
Everyone says that.
Please come to Broward.
We are working on that.
How do the people spell WeShuckin? Spell WeShuckin for the people.
WeShuckin. And that's in the website.
Yes. So make sure you go over there, because I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Just make sure that if you eat, you don't have a whole lot of stuff to do, because you're going to get tired because the food is so good.
You will eat.
Listen, these people, as I said, this beautiful couple are doing it, and they're doing it big. And now they have an opportunity for those of you that are entrepreneurs to say, I want to learn. You know, I hear all of this, but this is only going to be a short time. I need to be able to access some of the things that they've accessed. And I understand now that you're actually doing that through Empire University. So tell the listeners a little bit about Empire University and the backstory on it.
So with Empire, it's actually something I started back in 2014. And I started it as a networking and, you know, just motivational. And when the pandemic happened, people began to reach out like, listen, you know, I know you coach and, you know, you offer help. You've helped me many times before, and I really just need help right now. I need to know how to get to my next level, or even how to survive this pandemic. You know, everyone was afraid. Some people were losing their jobs and their income and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll you know, mentor the few that asked. And then more people, you know, started coming on board, and they came on board because I opened it up on a conversation on social media, like, but I was expecting, let me just take on 3 to 5 people and that's it. But more people came. So I ended up creating a whole curriculum from start to finish, everything that needs to be done right now, whether you're starting a business or if you're already an entrepreneur, on how you can make sure your foundation is solid and how you can create $1 million plan. We believe that when God gives you a vision, you have to write it. You have to make it plain. And if you don't make it plain, a lot of people, we take that scripture, and all this time, a lot of people don't realize that you got to take that word for what it said. So he specifically said, write that vision and make it plain. That means to come with a strategic plan, so that vision is not plain. Can't nobody follow. No, you hire people all day long. If they don't know what they need to do and how they need to do it, you will end up wasting a really good staff, a really good team, wasting money, wasting time, and they end up leaving you, and you're still here with this vision that you have that you didn't make plain. So that's what we do in the Empire. We teach you how to get that plan, get your plan down on paper and make it plain, and develop $1 million plan. And exactly how you gonna get there. And to everybody's surprise, it's like, oh my God, it's happening. Like, you know, I can't believe I'm actually getting there. And all you had to do was what the word said, do from the beginning.
Take the vision, write it down, and make it plain. Oh my goodness. This is so good. This is so good. And for those of you that say, I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm struggling, here it is. Oh yeah. University. For those that say, I want to get started, but I don't know where to do, because there's some foundation, because I keep hearing you say that word foundation over and over and over again. And that is driving home to me. And I hope it's driving home to all of you listeners, because those are the key components. Right. They've given you throughout this time some key components for marriage, some key components for business, you know, key components for dating. And so I hope you've gotten and absorbed this, because this has been really, really good. You've been so transparent. I love it. How can people find Empire University? If somebody said, you know, I want to sign up, Ernisha, how can I find you?
They can log on to EmpireU, the letter U, that's EMPIREU.org, and that's .org. Okay. Go to empireu.org. and you can find out about us. You'll see the success stories. It hasn't even been a year yet. And with one of the members, you'll see her holding up her $44,000 check. That was a $44,000 check that she had within 1 month of being in the Empire. My God. And you'll see some of the other ones. I mean, they all say such great things. I tell everybody, your reputation is what people say about you behind your back. And we're just shocked at the stuff that, you know, people are saying. Right. And Anthony and I both, when he comes in Empire and he teaches people about the marketing aspects and how to market, especially for today's society, because everything is digital now. Everything is different than creating a flyer and putting it on cards. Come on. So, you know, we go into all of those details, and I'm so excited for the successes. I'm so excited that, you know, we're doing what we were called to do, you know, because this is a calling to help other people to reach their goals. So empireu.org.
Yes. And what do you guys, if you have anything that's coming up next that you want to let the listeners know to look out for?
Yes, actually, with a couple of things. So I want you all to go to WeShuckin.com and make sure that you sign up for that mailing list so y'all will be alerted when we announce the new location. Also follow us on Instagram because we'll be documenting the process on the making of a restaurant. So
Wow.
we'll be doing a lot of recording and showing everyone, you know, how being transparent about that.
And
that process.
The reality show is something that is definitely, you know,
Yes.
We've been working out the entertainment portion of everything that we do as a new network coming very, very soon. So we're just kind of finalizing some things, and we're definitely excited about that.
So they'll get a chance to
see
it off guard.
Yeah.
That's comedic stuff.
Get something out of them.
Right.
So that's the WeShuckin. That's the reality show. With Sweet Butter, as I said, we're working on something for next year. So make sure y'all get on that mailing list as well. And then with the Empire, we're about to start a new cohort now. And then around April, we are planning for a conference. So that conference will be open to everyone. So
please
even if
look
you
out
aren't,
for that. That's going to be impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be impactful. We're planning for a safe, socially distant, test before you come here, conference so that we can have more of an impact. We want to reach more families. We want to let everyone know, how do you build an empire for your family? How do you get your children involved in your business? How do you, all of these questions that people have been having for us for years. We want these questions answered, but we are not, while we are extremely motivating, everyone says it all the time, oh, when I talk to you, it's so much motivation. We got to get beyond motivation. We got to get to some action.
Nice.
So that's what we're about, and that's what that conference will be about.
And this is about legacy building. So we can help you get to the bag, but if you don't know what to do with the bag, that was the thing. So all of the mistakes that we ever made, we bring it to the forefront and we say, okay, we can introduce you to this person. We open everything up to people and just make sure, you can definitely build a legacy for your family.
Yes. I love this. You guys have just blessed my heart so much. I have absolutely enjoyed this. You're so inspirational and you're being so transparent. I hope you listeners have appreciated this because I certainly have. This has been invaluable. These are things that you would have had to pay a lot of money to go and sit up and listen to other people. But these young people are saying, I want to help my community. That's what you guys are. You guys are community champions, and I love that. So for those people that are on right now that say, I love what I see, I want something like that. I've been struggling in my marriage, or I want to be married. I'm dating and I'm believing in what you're saying. Now I'm getting hope. Could you pray for those people right now that are listening, that want prayer for their relationship and their marriage and their businesses?
Definitely. Well, Father God, we just thank you, God, for this moment. We thank you for this time. And God, we thank you, God, for ordering our steps in everything that we do, God. And Lord Jesus, we thank you for allowing us to, Lord God, you've given us the ability, Lord God, to see ourselves and to make moves, God. And to, Lord God, we thank you, Lord God, for everything that is in our lives, God, that is allowing us to make that move, God. And God, we thank you, Lord God, that my wife and everything that is around me, God, it excels, that people will excel in their lives and they'll see you and know that they need you to excel, God. And we just give you all the praise and all the honor. In Jesus, we praise. Amen.
Amen. Thank you guys so much. Listen, this has been an incredible show. It's been incredibly inspirational for me. So I want to say thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Ernisha. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much for blessing our show. And I can't wait to get you guys in here again for part 2.
Yes, we can't wait to be back.
Thank you.
Loosen up some, y'all. So